How to work with lecterns and podiums? Well, let's take a look. Okay, so today you're going to be giving a presentation, and in front of you is going to be a lectern. Now, what is a lectern? Well, it's simply a stand. I've seen them made of wood, aluminum, steel, clear lucite, whatever. Many are simple replicas of a music stand. Sometimes they are a music stand, like this one that we've used before. You have your presentation, it's in a 3-ring binder, you put it on the stand. Now I want you to see what I'm looking at, so as we go through today's show, you'll have an idea of what I'm doing up here. So let me turn this around and show you. Now, here is the typical view that a speaker has of their presentation on a lectern. It's actually double wide, so you can spread out your sheets. We are going to take advantage of that. Not everybody does. Let me show you. As I've said before, we don't like 3-ring binders, and here's the problem with them. We put the 3-ring binder down, we open it, and we start to turn our pages as we go through our presentation. And we're on page 2 and now to page 3. What if I want to refer back to page 2? Here it goes. We have this kind of stuff going on, and it's really annoying. I don't like that. There's a much more expeditious method, and we're going to use it. So we're going to take our 3-ring binder, and we're going to ditch the 3-ring binder. We don't want to have our speech protected or our presentation protected in a plastic sheet like this. You don't know what kind of overhead lighting you're going to have, and it could reflect off the plastic, and it could make it very difficult for you to read. So we're going to get rid of the plastic. So now we're left with our presentation the way I like to work with them, which is sheets of paper, not hooked together, outside a binder, not in plastic. And here's the advantage. I put my speech down or my presentation down, and I go through page 1, and when I'm done with it, I slide it to the left, and I have page 2. And page 1 and 2 are visible. If I want to go back to 1 and refer to something, I can. When I'm done with 2, I slide it over on top of page 1. But let's say you're going to be reading. Now, remember I said about the setup, reading at the top half, and here's why. And so I'm reading, and today we're going to be talking about gun control, and it goes like this. In the United States, crimes involving guns are occurring with greater frequency. I'm reading at the top of the page. What kind of eye contact do I have with you when I'm down at the bottom of the page? The Brady Bill requires gun stores to perform a basic background investigation. Notice that I'm down here. I'm not making eye contact. And when I come from here to talk to you, it's different than if I'm up at the top reading up here. That's why instead of having the copy down at the bottom of the page, you only use the upper half. Okay, can you see that? Okay, you only use the upper half. And the reason for that is now when I'm reading my speech or my presentation, my eyes are focused up here. It gives me more opportunity to be connecting with my audience, you. One of the aspects of working with a lectern is that you can feel that you're locked into this place, that you can't leave. You can't move around. But that's not true, because I can be looking at my audience, I can be glancing at my notes, I can pass by it on the back side here, come over to this side, gesture, make eye contact with my audience on this side of the room, and you have the freedom to do that. An awful lot of people just think that they must be tethered to this thing, and you don't have to be. One of the complications that you can run into working with a lectern is the presence of a microphone. Not all lecterns have them. If they do have them, they're usually affixed to the lectern. Now, if you walk up and you have a microphone hooked to the stand, what are you going to do to adjust it? Well, obviously you want to aim it towards your mouth. That's where the words are coming from. If it's attached to the top of the lectern, usually it's on a flexible arm, and that flexible arm allows you to adjust it up, down, around, to the side, wherever it's most convenient for you. If it's on a mic stand like this one is, then the mic stand can be moved. It also can be knocked over. So placing it is really critical. You don't want to be hitting it with your hands if you're gesturing and have the thing fly off the stage if you're or over into a table full of people that are sitting in front of you, and all of a sudden a microphone winds up in their lap. So placement is important. You might have to place it off to one side or the other. It may not have a long enough arm to fit into the center of the lectern where I have this one. So use your best judgment and pick the place that's best for you. You don't want, under any circumstances, you don't want to have to be leaning in to the microphone and doing this for the whole 15, 20 minutes, maybe an hour of speaking where you're leaning in. For some reason, you can't adjust the microphone or the volume so that you can stand up and make your presentation in a satisfactory fashion. Okay, just one thing about working with a microphone on a lectern or a mic stand. If you can't get it adjusted properly, then what you want to do is simply remove the microphone from the holder. Most of them slide right out of the holder, and hold it in your hand. And now you can stand up. You don't have to be hunched over reading 2 inches from the microphone because it won't adjust to suit you. You'll be able to move around a little bit. And this gives you some freedom, and it also allows you to address the microphone in a very professional way. And that's what you're there for. Okay, well, that about wraps it up working with a lectern. But I titled this show Lecterns and Podiums. Now, some people confuse them. They are not the same thing. The lectern is this kind of device that holds your presentation or your speech, and the podium is a raised platform, lifts you up above the crowd so they can see you. They are not the same thing. The only advice I can give you about a podium is don't fall off it. Other than that, thanks for visiting. Go out and have a lot of fun speaking. Use a lectern properly. Don't fall off the podium. And thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.